Why is no one worried about military pensions? It's just weird how people are so worried about Social Security, but no one's worried about military. Never mind your state, never mind the federal government, FERS and whatnot. And my man Brendan sent it. Dude, there's so much stuff available online. Just if you're a guy like me, just like it's like Christmas every day. It's like what Trump is doing in the White House right now. It's like Christmas every day, man. There's just so much stuff. So my man sent me this. Look at this. This is from. Why do you start grabbing? Oh, here, Pablo. Look, Pablo says, "Dad, do not over." I just ate some tuna. Watch this. Pablo loves my tuna fish breath. All right, so anyway, my man Brendan sent this. Brendan the Irishman. He's an Irishman. No one was barking until right now. Office of the Actuary, U.S. Department of Defense. And just look at this. Technical reference evaluation of military readiness, I guess, force. That's the one thing I could think, MFRF. And we're going to look at this one right here. This one, what Brendan addressed me to look at right here about survivor benefit plan. And I just started looking at this. Dude, I just freaking, he said right there, oh man, this is so, I just love it. I don't know why I love this stuff so much. Let me show you something else so you can get in the, do I head over there? Check this out. Federal government, love them or hate them, but they got everything online. So here's, you can take this right here, non-resident training course, fluid power, some, there's so much stuff. And I just printed all these off. Here's non-resident training course, electricity, electronics training. It's crazy how much stuff there is out there. Got this wiring guide from the Navy, just a book of, it's just so much stuff. It's crazy. I remember when I was a little kid, my dad, when I was just tiny, 3 or 4, I said, man, you got so much time, I just remember he said, you'll never have enough time to do everything you want to do. I said, what? Yeah, what are you talking about, man? You got all the time in the world. I'll never forget that. You'll never have enough time to do everything you want to do. And I have all this stuff I want to read. I just don't have enough time to read it all. It's crazy. It's actually kind of frustrating in a way, in a good way, but still frustrating. Anyway, so evaluation of the military retirement system. We're going to scroll down here. Department of Defense, Office of Actuary, February 2023. And I'm just going to go right to the plan here. Check this out. So we got 1.4 million reservists and active duty military personnel who get paid $67 billion. All right, that's interesting. They're using an inflation rate of 2.5% and a salary increase of 2.75%, right, with an interest payment of 4%. But watch this. Funded, right here, actuarial results at the end of fiscal 2021. Present value of future benefits, 2.2 trillion. All right. Right here, unfunded accrued liability, 741 billion. Funded ratio, 60%. Funded ratio, 60%. That means 40% isn't funded. Man, your breath stinks. I mean, they paid $63 billion, 63 billion benefits paid to participants, and yet it's only funded 60%. That's kind of creepy. By the way, unlike Social Security, the military is using an 80-20 male to female component mix, and men die sooner than women. Social Security, we know for a fact that women die later. They have a life expectancy usually 3 to 4 years longer than men or something like that. So Social Security has more longevity inherent in it because it's all populations, which is, again, women live longer. Military is, generally speaking, a man's premise. It's just fact, and that's why I just showed you right there, 80-20 men to women, yet there's still a 60% funding, they're only 6% funded, which means it's 40% not funded. Interesting thing was in 2016, they had a 90-10 male to female mix. And notice, why don't we have a transgender thing there? I always find that funny, man. How come we don't have a third thing for trans? Where would they fall in? I guarantee if you're a trans and you're a trans person, a male to female, you're still going to throw yourself in as a man because men get paid more when it comes to their pensions, Social Security, not Social Security, but when it comes to this, because the life scale expectancy of a man, of annuity, is less than that of a woman. And so if you're a trans woman, I don't even know what you call them, I guarantee when it comes to doing an annuity, you're going to say you're a man because you get paid more as a man. That's just a fact because your life expectancy is lower. The whole thing is just so weird. Right here, total number of non-disabled retirees. That's the amount they pay, 57 billion, which is up from 56 billion the year previously. This is surviving families, only 4 billion. Only 4 billion for SBP, survivor benefit plan and whatnot. Right here, there's initial unfunded accrued liability in 1984 of $527 billion as of September 30th, 1984. If this amount had been deposited into the retirement fund in September 1984, then it, together with the future normal cost payments to be made on behalf of all active personnel, plus investment earnings at the assumed rate, would have been sufficient to provide all expected retirement and survivor benefits for those in the system as of that date. But that's 40 years ago, and yet no one's got a pay cut in terms of survivor benefits or retiree benefits. Deducting the present value of future normal costs and actuarial asset value of the fund for the present value of future benefits leaves an unfunded liability of $745 billion as of 30 September 2021. Which was greater than the expected unfunded liability of $683 billion. So basically, we have almost $775 billion more of unfunded liability. This is on again in 1984 we had 527 unfunded liability. Why is no one saying, "Oh my goodness, they're going to cut your military benefit"? In fact, they increased the funded ratio from 57% in 2020 to 60%. In 2021, yay! Sniffy Joe did something. Dude, this whole thing is such a freaking crapshoot, man. All these people freaking out. I'm like, dude, it's monopoly money, man. There's no right or wrong answer. It just is. So you can freak out about it, but you know what Social Security has? Just assuming the payroll deductions, they're going to pay out 83% of benefits until 2095 or something like that. Where did I see this? Do I have it up here on the Kitsis thing? Do I have it? Let's see if I do. There she goes. I just heard that song on something on a YouTube thing. I was like, dude, that song is like the worst song ever. There she goes again. So I'm going to show you. Why do people like that music? It's just weird. It's bad. It's bad music. I thought it was in here. I was reading from Kitsis. Oh, this guy right here. Hold on a second. Hang tight. There's 83% of scheduled benefits just on payroll taxes alone in 2035, and 73% of scheduled benefits in 2098. All right, so that means it's fully funded up to 83% until 2098, just based on payroll taxes alone. But yet, no one talks about military being 60% fully funded with a $745 billion liability. Actually, I'm not sure if I got my numbers right in terms of how much they actually pay. I don't know. I frankly don't really care that much. But I just, what did I say, 59 billion or something like that? Or I don't even know what it is. But either way, you saw it for yourself. It's just the whole thing. Stop worrying about this. There's nothing you can do about it. Literally, there's nothing you can do about it. Just pay down your debt. Just got an email from a lady who says she's crushing it and she wants to hire me, but only after she pays down her house this year. I said, dude, I freaking love it. Love it. Pay down your debt. In fact, where was I reading this here? From the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond, they got this Fraser Economic Review. It's just so much fun stuff to read in here. And I was just reading. I don't think I have it up here anymore. Let's see what this one is. I don't think this is it, actually. I can tell you. No, this wasn't it. But I did. Very interesting. I'm going to read you something. This is from the Federal Reserve Board in 1921, I think. Federal Reserve Bulletin, yeah, right here. November 1921. We're going to go to page 29 here. Very interesting. Let's see. It is right here. It is reported that the low prices paid the grower for the 1920 crop did not permit him to liquidate his indebtedness incurred during that growing season. As a result, the merchants themselves, unless in a fairly strong cash position, were a strained situation and consequently found it necessary to greatly curtail the extension of credit. It is often stated that the country's stores in the district will play a much less important part in financing growers than in the past. As in the case of the warehouses, they were agreeably surprised to learn that such financing, when it came to be regarded as necessary, could be dispensed with. The warehouses in certain centers of this district had loaned heavily for several years, but largely eliminated the practice during the past season. What does that tell you? You go into debt to purchase product at wholesale so you can sell at retail. When the retail prices fall below your purchase price, you can't pay off that debt, and you're being the credit lines are shrinking, not out, just going away. What does that do for commerce? What does that do for bankruptcy? This is what happened during the Great Depression. Farms that borrowed on leverage to buy up higher and higher valued land in the 1920s were all of a sudden facing upside down like we saw in 2008. The best way to avoid going bankruptcy is to get out of debt as it is right there. It's just all there is to it. And this was in 1921, the beginning of the roaring 20s. The indebtedness that you had to purchase your wholesale product, you could not offload because the prices had shrunk because we were in a great deflation at that point. Thankfully, silent Calvin Coolidge just said, we're going to let the markets work, and he did. And some people got screwed, without question. The people got screwed, the people in debt. But other people didn't. And the Great Depression, that would never came to be, simply because silent Cal just said, we're going to let it go. That's how you deal with depressions. You let the markets determine who survives, and basically survivors will always be these guys right here. As well, merchants themselves, unless in a fairly strong cash position, were in a strange situation and consequently found it necessary to curtail the extension of debt. Warren Buffett in 2008, loaning money to Goldman Sachs. The lessons are legion, but we don't heed them because we think, oh man, leverage. God bless. Love your thoughts. Don't forget to smash that like button.